Space Marines, mortals who have ascended into angels of war, had crusaded across the stars with the Emperor of mankind during what would be known as the Great Crusade. Side by side with His Majesty and their respective Primarchs, the Astartes brought the Aquila across the divided galaxy. Yet, despite their power, the Space Marines were but an army of a few. Not many candidates survive the transitioning into an Astartes. Only few can become an angel of death and war. Because of this, when the legions slowly grew apart from each other as they traveled across the distant stars, their strength thinned. So, in order to keep his growing Imperium strong with soldiers, the Emperor would establish the Imperial Army. This vast power of ordinary men, from soldiers to naval officers, were brought in to not only fight alongside the Space Marines, but to also bring order and compliance to newly conquered worlds. At the dawn of what would be known as the Horus Heresy, when the Space Marine legions turned on each other, the Imperial Army too were divided. Like the Astartes, the men and women within the Imperial Army were forced to pick sides, to either join Horus Rebellion or remain loyal to the Emperor. At its conclusion, with the traitor legions chased off to the Eye of Terror and the Imperium of Man brought back into order, reformations were made. Like Guilliman reorganizing the Space Marine legions into chapters, the Imperial Army was split into two factions. Out of this, the Imperial Army became the Imperial Guard and the Imperial Navy. This way, if either the two were to turn traitor, the traitorous naval officers could no longer lead a legion of veteran soldiers, while heretical generals wouldn't be able to spread their rebels beyond a planet. The commissars of the Officio Prefectus were brought in as well, men and women whose sole purpose is to ensure loyalty and discipline within the ranks. If needed, execute the cowardly soldier or unconfident officer if they fail their duties. Now named the Astra Militarum, the two factions work side by side with each other to fight in the never-ending war across the galaxy. While each planet contributes soldiers to fight in the never-ending war, their warriors, gear, and training are not universal. Whilst one planet may contribute soldiers who have been trained from birth and armed to the teeth, others might send those who were formal factory workers and uniformed in trench coats. But with this, each regiment of guardsmen provides unique soldiers for any type of warfare, either it being the jungle fighters of Catachan or the trench soldiers of Krieg. Each regiment offers soldiers for any kind of warfare. With oceans of tanks, aircrafts that could blanket the ground in darkness, and planet-sized soldier regiments, the men and women who serve in the Astra Militarum fight off the horrors of the galaxy. With the laser fire of their lasguns, these soldiers stand their ground in the trenches. They stand before the hungering maw of the spiteful galaxy, defiant to allow the enemies of mankind to keep them down. Soldiers with but cheap weapons and basic training, these mortals are perhaps the bravest fighting force in the Milky Way. After all, they are but mortals who might stand in defiance against the Bloodthirster, the Hive Tyrant, or the Riptide. Though Space Marines are immortalized in legends, it's the soldiers of the Astra Militarum who are the vanguard of mankind's vengeance against the aliens and demons. In a way, these soldiers are the true martyrs of mankind, mortals who stand against thirsting gods and monstrous aliens to keep the torch of humanity blazing. In memory of their fathers and mothers who had done the same thankless duty, the soldiers of mankind will storm the enemy line till victory is secured. So long as humanity's banner stands tall, their service will be immortalized in memory, lest we forget.